Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Kris.
And today we'll be talking about the Kardashians, Season 5, Episodes 7 and 8.
Listen here, we got to do these episodes by twos now because there's no drama. There's really no storyline. It's just the Kardashians stealing money from Hulu.
Okay.
That's basically what's going on. So I'm going to make up storylines. When Blair tell us what happens, I'm going to tell us the more interesting side that should have happened.
Okay.
Okay, you ready, Blair?
Yes.
Let's go.
So they are still in Aspen.
Yeah.
Khloé, Kim, Kendall, Kris, and Corey. It's dinner time, and they decide to give Kylie a call, and she talks to them. She said that she's been emotional all day. She tried to get another flight, but there was weather issues, so she's not going to come. Everybody knew she wasn't going to come.
What do you mean there was weather issues? There was weather issues. That's the reason why we went when we went.
Yes.
Kylie. Kylie is the one who thinks that everyone should move when she moves, but you realize she don't move.
Right.
You know? She is the one that's supposed to be basically the one that's supposed to carry the ball for the family, but she always have excuses. And guess what? Unfortunately, I have to say this, but it's the truth. When you do have serious mental health issues and things like that, I can use that at any time. You know I'm mentally ill. You know I have anxiety. You know I'm depressed. You know all those things. And those things are valid. Right, but it is kind of hard to check when like you can use it at your own will.
Right.
Especially since you got off the plane because you felt like something bad was going to happen, and you did not get us off the plane. You just went like, I'm out, and then just left us be.
Yeah, I mean, I the thing is, I understand with mental health issues that, you know, they are something that you have to live with and hurdles that you have to try to overcome in life. Yeah. And in every situation, you do not, or you're not able to pick the higher road or be able to get over whatever your situation is. But I do agree with Kris that it is your obligation to get the help that you need in order for you to show up, for you to be there for work, for you to be there for your family, to try to be there and present and as, you know, healthy as you possibly can be. And it is a disservice, and not saying that Kylie did this because she didn't bring up her anxiety or anything like that, but it is a disservice to when people are trying to rely on you and it's always a reason or an excuse. And then it's extra sucky when you use your mental health as a reason or excuse because we can't really question you on that. So
I'm going to question you every time.
Okay.
I'm going to say, did you take your pills? No. Do you have pills? No. You ain't trying to get better? No. Okay.
Right. So we find out Kim is excited to be able to have some quiet and alone time to watch television without all her kids. Yeah. And she is going to watch Gypsy Rose. During the conversation, we find out she's actually going to meet Gypsy Rose. Okay. Gypsy has been wanting to get into prison reform, so Kim thinks that she could use her platform to be helpful for that. Okay. So Khloé, while they're all at dinner, Khloé FaceTimes her daughter goodnight. Yeah. While Kim is trying to talk about her meeting, I think her full name is Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Okay. Kris, you know, she's sitting there and she's smiling, but you could tell Kris kind of wants Khloé to wrap up the conversation since we're at dinner and we're trying to be here and present with each other. So what is it? Khloé goes around and tells everybody to say goodnight to True and everybody like that. And then Kris is just like, all right, good night. Bye.
Her grandchildren.
What did you think about that? I mean, I feel like that is an instance where Kim, I can see her side of I'm literally in the middle of a conversation and you're calling your kid right now. I get y'all have a schedule, but if you really needed to get this goodnight call in, please walk away from the table. So what do you think?
I wasn't going to expound on this because we already know Kim has shown the tendencies on this season of being an inept mother. Right? She is trying her best to make us think she's a bad mother, which I don't understand why she's doing that. Just saying goodnight to your kids is not a problem and things of that nature. I actually would be more interested in seeing how they raise the family more than these fake meetings, more than these getting on the planes, more than these fake photo shoots, more than Kourtney in a cart in Target. I'm more interested in actually the real life part of the show than the actual, like, we're here just to ski down some slopes and that's it. Yeah. So, like, it is what it is.
And I will kind of expound since, you know, I'm the resident Kardashian expert here.
Yes, and I'm trying to get us out of... Listen here. Thank you all who came and clicked on this. I'm I'm gonna get us out of here in 20 minutes.
Okay, but I like this show. I want to talk still.
Okay.
So I think back to Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Facts.
And in their earlier seasons, they had a ski trip with the whole family, and that was an episode to watch. I mean, I think Kim had just broken up with Reggie Bush, or going through a breakup.
You're going back in the day.
So we got the full on Kim crying phase. People were annoyed with Kim being on her phone, and Kris actually threw Kim's phone like off the couch, and then Kris decided to take her mom's phone and throw it off the second floor balcony of the lodge that they were on, and broke her mama's phone. So I mean, there have been some episodes where the family has gotten together and there has been drama. I mean, in that episode back in the day, they went skiing and the whole family was together, and everybody was irritated with Kim because you're not participating. These are family memories. You just want to sit up here and cry about your ex or whatever you're going through. And it was literally like a team up on Kim, and it was like cinema. Okay. So when the whole family gets together, I don't know if maybe because we're older now, we're more mature, people are more into what's going on in their like individual families. But when it was them and the siblings going at it, I mean, it was a time. It was a time.
I'm guessing it's one of those gotta be there.
I was hoping I would incite something in you right now. Okay, well, we'll move on to Lemmy.
Only thing I heard was, and then she broke her mama's phone, and I'm just like, okay, sure.
So we move on to Kourtney.
Okay.
She has escaped from her baby bubble just for a little bit. She is going to Target because Lemmy, her vitamin or thing, whatever, is launching in Target. So she did a few interviews. It was only about an hour, and that was something that she said that she could handle. So,
all right.
Moving on, Khloé FaceTimes True during breakfast.
Yeah.
And Khloé asked him, "Are you annoyed with me because I FaceTime my daughter?" And Khloé's point is basically, you do you and I'll do me. Kim says that she's not annoyed. It's just that Kim tries to clarify to her, I'm not telling you not to be there for your kids. I'm just telling you to be more present when you're with us and away from your kids.
You see, here's the thing about it, right? There's just certain things that I would just not say, because no matter how many times I say it, no matter how many times I be like, I did not mean it this way, it's just going to come out wrong, right? When I'm talking about her kids as if those are not my nieces, as if those are not my nephews, as if those are not my grandchildren. You get what I'm saying? So, like, what is FaceTiming during breakfast going to do for the rest of the day? Nothing, right? I'm FaceTiming my kids, and whole time it's only us two at this table.
Well, she wasn't irritated at that. I mean, I feel like at the dinner situation, I would have been a little bit annoyed if I'm trying to have a conversation with my siblings and then they just hop on the phone.
But that's different. But I'm saying for Khloé to be like, "Are you annoyed?" Basically, because my whole thing is the thing that I never see is I never see the kids be like, "Hey, Auntie Kim." Or for them to be like, "Hey nieces, hey nephews, hey grandkids." Well, it's almost as if it's Khloé, those are your kids. You know what I mean? They are not part of the family. Those are your kids, and keep your kids to yourself. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, if it was, I don't see the family aspect of it, right?
I get what you mean.
And I'm saying for Kim, I understand her point, but she can be right. But there's no way to say it without sounding wrong. True. So that's why I'm like, I wouldn't even brought it up, because I'm like, hey, unless I see Khloé on FaceTime going down the slope, I'm just like, I think you're endangering yourself because you're FaceTiming your kids while you're doing activities. Right. But while it's just us two at this table, I'm going to do what I want.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True. But they bring up a situation in the Bahamas when True was literally probably like under 1 year old. They were 10 minutes off schedule, and Kim says that Khloé was freaking out because they needed to stay on schedule, and she needed to hurry up and get True to dinner so she could eat, and it was literally only 10 minutes. Khloé, her point was like, my daughter was under 1. I wasn't having to freak out. I just told you guys that I'm going to meet you at the restaurant. So... any thoughts on that?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on. So they go skiing, and Kris is back home enjoying the cabin.
No, literally, we are not shorthanding these notes. This is literally what happened. She's just there, making a drink, looking outside, laying down, standing up. That's what she was doing.
Yes, what I usually do on Saturdays.
Yes.
So everyone is back at the cabin. They do a snowman competition, and Kendall and Kim end up winning the competition.
Yeah.
Travis is performing at the Emmys, so Kourtney is getting ready, and she kind of reminisces a little bit about her first time at the Emmys when she went with Kim. They talked about what outfits they wore, and that was when Kourtney was pregnant with Mason at the time.
Now, this is the thing that I don't understand, right? Reminiscing when you're at the Emmys as if you was nominated for an Emmy, right? Now, I understand the show may have won something. Maybe. I don't know how long the Kardashians been on. Maybe. I don't get...
No, back then, I don't think they were even nominated because I think Kim was Ryan Seacrest +1.
Oh,
okay. And Kim just brought Kourtney along. And Kourtney just walked the red carpet.
So, like, my whole thing is, like, it's just basically a show at this point. I wasn't there during the Blair era of watching the Kardashians. It's just like, remember when we was at the Emmys and it's like, but y'all wasn't nominated though.
Yeah.
It's like rich people stuff. That's like that. There's a disconnect. And truth be told, I think what the Kardashians is today is just we gonna have a reality TV show that is basically gonna be a victory lap of what we do, how much money we make. We are kind of fake busy. That's the perfect term for it. Fake busy. And when I say fake busy, I'm not saying the money is fake, but they make their life seem so busy. Kim make her life seem so busy. I see her get on these planes, get off the plane, go to these meetings. I see her do photo shoots. I mean, photo shoot every episode. You go see a photo shoot for every episode, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And there's no depth to like anything.
But that's what I'm saying. I want more family scenes, and I feel like some of the family scenes that they have are a bit like contrived and staged.
Yeah.
Like Kim talking to Khloé about her parenting style. I'm just like, okay, y'all, we need some type of discourse to make the show interesting.
We need Rob back.
But it's just like, if we have everyone together, like there's going to be like natural situations and conversations, but everybody is kind of in their own little silo and their own little life, which I get as you have kids and your own families. That's kind of how life turns out to be. But I like to see them together and seeing them navigate their familiar relationships. I mean, even when we get to the ovary party or hysterectomy party, only a few people come and people are on their phone half the time. I'm just like, you guys, like, come on. But moving on.
She really liked the Kardashians people. I'm looking at it like even you getting that surgery is not interesting.
Okay.
Like they made it a bigger deal than what it was, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I know surgery, any type of surgery is serious, but the way they sold it to us, it's like they found something, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it was just like a big deal to her, and I'm just like, okay, like do it for your health, you know?
Yeah. Well, they do the peek and pit, which is something that they've done like a lot throughout the years, which is something I kind of would like to introduce to our family when we have kids, and just talking about the highlight of an experience or a day, or like what was the low point of an experience or a day. So Kim's peak was skiing. Her pit was basically everybody in the family not being there.
Okay.
Khloé says her peak was being there with everybody who was there, and the pit was that she fell out of a car.
Okay.
Kris's peak was being there with everyone there, but pit was the rest of the family not being there.
Okay.
So Kris tells us that she had a scan. They found a cyst and a tumor in her ovary, and she needs to have her ovaries taken out.
Okay.
So moving on to the next episode, in episode 8. Well, I'll say this. Kris was very teary-eyed and upset. And she said, you know, of course, like she's past childbearing age. But just the thought of them removing her ovaries or her having a hysterectomy is going to be kind of like a marker in her life of okay, like I'm really getting older. Like this thing that was part of me is no longer going to be part of me that helped me birth all the children that I have, and this life that I have. So I mean, I can understand that portion. I do feel like it was kind of oversold a little bit. Cause I'm just like, Kris, like you haven't used them like in years. Yeah. But at the same time, it's just like aging can be a hard thing for a lot of people. Yeah. And the things that come with it.
Yeah. My thing is, I'm not taking light of the surgery or like the diagnosis itself. But my whole point is, I think she been knew that and she just sold it to us.
Right.
I think she been knew like something was going on down there, and she was like, you know what, this could be part of the storyline. And things like that, and she just sold it to us as if, oh, they just found something. I think they've been found it, and there was already precautions to to help get rid of that.
Gotcha. So Kris is at her home, and her doctor came over to do a pre-op visit for the surgery. Okay. And she's pretty much cleared for her surgery.
Okay, nice.
So Kourtney said is in a meeting, and her Lemmy product sold out in Target in 8 days. So that is doing very well. Mind
you, she has children. Mm-hmm. We don't know nothing about the children so far. She ain't even trying to show us Rocky. Mm-hmm. I think his name is Rocky. But she sold out her products in 8 days. Of course, it was gonna sell out in 8 days because you wouldn't even show us that scene if it didn't sell out.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And we just learned a little bit more about how the fact that she has kids of different ages, so she tries to take time for each one of them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she has mom guilt by not doing enough or spending enough time with each kid. But they plan on having the whole family go to Australia for Travis's tour. So all 7 of the children that they have together and as a blended family can come together.
That's gonna be interesting. Still, none of the Kardashians, just them.
So this episode where we have everyone together, it is the Hulu promo shoot, and they have everyone together. But even with them being together, I was just kind of like, it's just work. Like, y'all aren't doing anything. Y'all aren't having any fun. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like no sibling stuff going on, but they were at work.
We need Rob back. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, the thing is, Rob, I don't know who Rob is today, but Rob back in the day, he would definitely hold his family accountable and keep everybody grounded.
It's not. We need some toxic traits, like Scott. His name is Scott, right?
Yeah.
Scott is clean now. You get what I'm saying? He's not putting money in waiters' mouths and things like that, telling them to eat it and things of that nature. And trust me, I'm faking. Blair showed me a clip of that. I did not see that episode. We don't have Rob and like living a fast life and things of that nature. We just see a whole bunch of older women doing a victory lap of look at my sponsors, look at my promos, look at me, I'm working, and I'm gonna stay on this. This is my storyline for every episode of the Kardashians. I don't understand how Kylie is listed as a producer on the show.
Yeah.
When we don't even see her.
It definitely feels like this is a show of them pushing their products.
Yeah.
And it's like there's always something there to buy or something that they're doing that they want us to pay attention to as far as like Kim and going to, talk to people and all this type of stuff. I'm just like, that would be great and interesting in a show of its own. But this isn't what I come to the Kardashians to see, Kim going about her work life. So
no, it's not.
So they ask who would survive in the wilderness. They say Khloé, and they think Kris would crumble. Which is interesting.
Kylie said that she would survive. Mind you, she didn't even get on the plane.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her way of surviving. It is what it is.
And honestly, I think Kris is a lot more resourceful than they give her credit for. That lady is a hustler. So I feel like she would figure out a way. Okay. So Kim visits Khloé in her dressing room. Kim saw a therapist, and she says that she has had a much more peaceful house. Okay. The therapist recommended that the kids have less screen time and no phones during meals. And the therapist said that they would freak out for a week, but after that, it'll be pretty much smooth sailing. The issue is that Kim never wanted to go through that week of dealing with the tantrums and all that type of stuff. She just wanted to give them their stuff so they could shut up and leave her alone so she can relax or do whatever she needs to do. And Kim's point is, I don't know why I can be firm in business, but I'm kind of just like weak at the house. And Khloé says that, she has a more militant household, but militant isn't a bad thing. Like, there is love and discipline. Yeah. And Khloé's point is just let your no be no, no matter what they throw at you, and they will eventually learn and deal with it.
At the end of the day, Kim basically said, I went to a therapist to learn how to be a mom. I don't believe any of this. I believe Kim still have a nanny, a full-time nanny at that. And guess what? Her money is raising her kids, and maybe there's parts of Kim that actually raise their kids. People raise their kids differently, right? But just for the storyline, we are just seeing, or not even seeing, we just hearing about how they raise their kids, because it's not like we seeing Kim I think Kim don't want to film with her kids that much, and I think it's a protection thing as well as like, you know, privacy thing. It's kind of weird how it's a reality TV show about your life, but there's like, you're still private, you're still being like, you know, coy with certain things.
And I also think that the kids, they really do be misbehaving. Her kids be flicking people off and cussing and all types of stuff. So I think it's probably best they're not around for editing's sake.
Y'all not TV ready. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Y'all not TV ready. But yeah, Kim. I don't know why Kim in this season took the role of an inept parent. I don't know why she would like take that role, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So we've got the surprise party for Kris.
Yeah.
For the ovaries that are going to be taken out. So they come with flowers, balloons, and a cake. And Kim says that just make sure that you know which kids showed up and which kids showed up first. So Kim showed up first, and Kourtney is late.
Yes.
So they have a conversation about eating the placenta after birth, and apparently that's something that Kourtney has been doing or is doing, and I don't think Kris was into that for her kids.
I'm not into it either.
Yeah. And they talked about a conversation about who, like, if you're born with like eggs from your mother and things like that, but that wasn't super interesting.
This whole scene wasn't interesting.
But Kourtney ends up coming over, and she's very lackluster. I mean, the thing is, these are just these people's personality as well. Like, I don't feel like they were ever super exciting, but it was always the dynamic that was interesting and how they interacted with each other. But even here, like, Kim is on her phone. Like, Kourtney, she walks in and she's just kind of like, I picked out those flowers. I never seen those flowers a day in my life. It's just like, okay. So she's at this point wondering if she should even go to Australia. Yeah. Kim tells her that the paparazzi is going to be brutal over there. They don't have the same laws in California as far as if Kourtney doesn't show her baby's face, the paparazzi have to blur the face. But in Australia, they can sell the pictures of the baby and the baby's face without Kourtney's permission or her showing her baby first.
It sounds like she should not go.
Yeah. Then there's another issue where Mason doesn't want to go. He wants to stay back in California to hang out with his dad and his friends. So Kim said Mason is going to come over for dinner, and she's going to try to sell the Australia idea to him.
Okay.
And we find out that they do help each other with their kids as far as if the kids come to my house or your house or they're having issue with the parent. They try to have each other's backs when it comes to talking to the children. So Kourtney isn't ready to leave her baby bubble and go back to the world, but she wants to be there to support Travis so he's not alone on tour.
He's not alone on tour. He got a whole band that he's been playing with for decades. You get what I'm saying? Just say you want to go. Like that's basically what it is. Maybe it's obsession and things of that nature, or maybe it's FOMO. You get what I'm saying? But you just want to go. If I was Travis, I would tell my wife, "You're not going." It's just that plain and simple. I'm at work. This is not a vacation. This is not a family vacation. Right. You get what I'm saying? Rocky was just born. He already had a rough birthing, and not so much of a rough birthing, but during the pregnancy, there had to be surgery that had to be done. So I'm like, you're not going nowhere. I don't want to hear it. You get what I'm saying? But it just, listen here. Different strokes for different folks.
And honestly, that the Mason issue wouldn't be an issue for me. I'm like, if he wants to stay back with his dad, he's with his dad. He'll be with his friends. He's okay. Like, it would be nice for everyone to come together and for us to have, you know, this big family time together and create all these memories. But Mason can create memories with his dad, and that would be just as good to me.
Yeah. So. And then on top of that, I don't know if y'all know anything about Australia. I'm sure Australia is beautiful, but I've seen some of the bugs they got in Australia, and I am not a bug guy, right? It's so crazy. I can fight a person, but when it comes to a bug, Blair, where you at? Okay, you get what I'm saying? I am not a bug guy at all. And the most thing I am is ants. I can take an ant out. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Once it gets bigger, once it got wings, not me. Yeah. Not for me.
So Kris goes shopping with Faye Resnick from Beverly Hills and Kathy Hilton. She tells them about the hysterectomy that she's going to have, and they're basically telling her it's not a big deal. Like, people have hysterectomies every day. Yeah. But they also understand that the aging part of it can be kind of like a mental trip. And Kris says that no one really talks about getting older. They don't talk about menopause and just the effect that it has on you mentally. Yeah. She says this generation thinks they'll live forever, but you guys won't. And her friends tell her not to worry. Like, you'll be fine.
True.
So Khloé is at Fabletics.
Yeah.
She is doing a collab with them, and they interviewed her. She's gotten to this point in her career where she's more particular about the opportunities that she takes. And this is something that she can really get behind because she wants to encourage people to be active and strong. And she says no matter what their body types are. But I'm just like, that's interesting coming from you, Khloé. because you were bigger before, and you really wanted to be smaller. And I think part of it also was like the bullying of the public and all that type of stuff of wanting to look a certain way. But at the same time, people want their bodies to be a certain way. So being like, be happy and whatever body you have, I'm just like, it's just so ironic coming from this family. Yeah. It's just very ironic.
Listen here. I think how they make their money is they sell to Fabletics and things like that. Hey, we will put you on the show. That is a way for you to promote and things like that, but you got to pay us because this scene was completely pointless. It's not like we seen a whole season of her working out and things of that nature. It just this Fabletics is just a random plug and play. So I think they make their money based off like you get your marketing, you get your promo, but you got to pay us for us to include you on this 1 minute scene of the show, right? And the thing about Khloé, which I'm going to talk about Khloé, I don't think Kim did a lot of work on her face, but I think all of them got some work done, except Kourtney a little bit. But let's talk specifically about Khloé, right? Because of the bullying, because of all those things, because of the insecurities, you know your children is not going to look like the new you. Your children is going to look like you, the real you. So what are you going to tell them? Hopefully you encourage them and tell them that they're beautiful. Hopefully you tell them that they whatever their body shape, height, mind you married or rather had a child with a guy who's 6'10". You get what I'm saying? And Khloé's not short herself.
Right.
So like she may be a little brute. She may be a little tall. She may be, you get what I'm saying? Like, so what are you going to tell them? Hopefully it's the same message that you're not selling, but that you're actually like cultivating and teaching to love themselves. And when they do ask questions like, why don't we look alike? And you be honest and be like, I didn't love myself enough to basically go through it and stay and be confident. I kind of like fell under the peer pressure and the bullying of other people. So like it just, those are the real conversations I like to see in reality TV, because the truth of the matter is a lot of us, if we had the money, if we had the income, we would try to be like, oh no, I just get a little, I just get a little breast implants. It starts with the little breast implants. It starts with small plastic surgery, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, my nose too wide, you know what, my forehead too big, my butt too flat, so it's like once you have the money, you actually can mold and cultivate yourself or world however you want to, and that could be a dangerous thing.
Yeah. And just to touch on another thing about the plug and play as far as like the selling of the products, I mean, that's what that whole episode was, with Kris doing the virtual thing, showing up in Khloé's house and having the big virtual thing, and basically for I forget his name, the
Howie,
who want to make a deal type of guy. So I'm just like, that is a lot of what the episodes have become, and this is not where we started.
It's okay. This will be the last season we do. At least for me.
So Kim goes to New Orleans to meet Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Kim recognizes that Gypsy can make a difference because she can talk about what she went through, about the Munchausen by proxy. And Gypsy, when she actually sits down to have the conversation, she feels that people are afraid of touching her as a topic because she is so controversial. And Kim, she doesn't say anything about it, but she's just like, girl, I do controversial. That's me. So Gypsy says that she could have done things differently that would have made her mom end up in jail versus being unalived. And Kim just wants to encourage her to speak her truth and to use her platform. Gypsy is trying to make the most out of her second chance. And she even shares that she couldn't get therapy when she was in prison. Re-entry has been tough for her, but Kim is going to have her team help guide Gypsy on next best steps when it comes to setting things up for her life, and I think also for her outreach and the support for the prison reform that she wants to do. Yeah, so
like I said, another promo. Gypsy got her own show that's going on the same time as this show and things of that nature. Do we care about Gypsy's story? Not that much. It's not really a hot topic for us at this moment, but like I said, it's just good promo. Kim is going to put her name, her face, her business behind what's hot. When Gypsy got released from prison, that was a hot thing. That was a big thing. Mm-hmm. TikTok, you could have got millions of views just talking about Gypsy. Yeah. That's all you can literally do. So Kim going to attach her name, attach her face, attach her brand to whatever's hot.
Same thing with the first Golden Bachelor with having Gary on the show. It does feel like all the episodes are very promotional.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
So, like I said, if Hulu want to give them money for just basically being a billboard show, I'm all for it. But that's basically what it is. Mm-hmm. It's just basically one season of promos.
Yeah.
For like whatever's going on. Any thoughts on the episode?
That's all I got.
Listen here, thank you anybody who came from Love Island. I told you I just want 100 of y'all to show and to just show your face. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry that this episode was 30 minutes, but at the end of the day, the reason why we are still reviewing the Kardashians because I am the type of person to where when I start something, I have to finish it, even though I don't want to, but it's just a personality trait of mine of like I gotta finish it. So we will be back 2 episodes at a time. I will not be back next week with this, but I will be back the week after with 2 episodes at a time.
All right.
Y'all be good.
Bye.